Welcome to the first in my series, my new series, that I'm going to call Explaining Batman, and this is where I explain lesser known villains. Some you probably know, but I classify these as villains where you can't just walk up to someone on the street and ask them if they've heard of them, and they'd say like, no. So, let's get started. I figure that what better way to start out than with Hush, who is really unknown among Batman villains, and I honestly didn't hear about him until recently, and I read Hush and Heart of Hush, and they were both great. I recommend you read them too. But basically, the character Hush is this, let's start out way in the beginning. Hush, his name is Thomas Elliot, and he was Bruce Wayne's childhood friend when they were both like kids, before Bruce's parents died. They were really close friends. They went on trips to, a trip to Metropolis. They just had a lot of fun together, but Tommy Elliot didn't like his dad, or his parents in general, but he didn't like his dad because I think his dad was abusive. I can't remember, but I think that's what it was. And he cut the brakes on his car, and it killed his dad because Bruce's father couldn't save him. Well, his mom's still alive, and she's pretty weak, and she becomes incredibly attached to him. Like, Tommy Elliot goes to summer camp with Bruce once, and his mom drags him out, but in the process, he attacks another kid, and he gets sent to a mental institution for a while. And guess who his doctor is? Oh yes, it's another intern. And you've got to wonder, why do they keep letting these interns handle the violent patients? Because this intern is a relatively new intern known as Jonathan Crane, otherwise known as Future Scarecrow. So yeah, they make a deal and he lets out Tommy. Well, upon release, he finds out that Bruce's parents were killed, and he is envious of Bruce. He then spends the next few years looking forward to going off to medical school to escape his mother, and at the same time, Bruce is traveling the world training, obviously. So, at one point, he actually meets, I forgot what her name is, but it's the second ventriloquist, and they fall in love. Well, the mom doesn't like this, so she cuts off Tommy, and that way Tommy can't go to medical school. Well, he gets ticked, so he and the second ventriloquist basically go and kill the lawyer and the mom. And then after that, he goes to medical school, gets training, blah blah blah. You know, he can fight, and he's a doctor, so that's never good. So then he ends up teaming up with Riddler, and Riddler has cancer, I believe, and so Riddler goes to the Lazarus Pit, and he gets cured of cancer. You get the gist, Lazarus Pit can cure anything, apparently. Yet people still can't figure out how Joker may possibly be alive after Arkham City. Yeah, whatever. I'll explain that eventually. But anyway, that's a later video. So, I forgot what Hush's original name was, but it was something long and complicated, and the Riddler just said, why don't we, it doesn't slide off the tongue, how about Hush? So, now Thomas Elliot is Hush. And so he's enemies with Bruce Wayne, but he also figures out that Bruce Wayne's Batman, so he also hates Batman. This is a rarity in a villain, obviously. In his first master plan to take down Bruce Wayne / Batman, he ends up teaming up with well, he's already teamed up with Riddler, but he drags along a bunch of other villains, making them believe they're equals to him when really Riddler's the only one. Like, for example, he gets Joker, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Killer Croc, I believe. That's about it. And eventually his plan leads to him, the Joker, setting up the Joker to make it look like he killed Thomas Elliot, who Bruce Wayne doesn't know is also Hush. So Batman almost kills the Joker at this point. Later on, of course, Bruce figures out who Hush is, but then later on the Joker decides to get revenge on Hush. So what he does is he puts a pacemaker in Hush, and Hush recovers from that. But later on, Hush decides to get revenge on Batman by kidnapping Catwoman, and he cuts out her heart, literally, and puts her on a huge life support system that he's threatening to, hey, I'll kill her any moment, kind of thing. So Bruce reveals his feelings for Catwoman, blah blah blah, you get the gist, and then goes and stops Hush, blah blah blah. But basically that's Hush, so yeah. This ended a lot quicker than I thought it would. But yeah, Hush is a particularly creepy Batman villain. I think he's only been in like 3 comics, really. For all that stuff, it's only been like 3 stories, actually, not comics, but stories. My favorite being Heart of Hush. That one's pretty awesome. So that concludes our first edition of Explaining Batman. On the next episode, we will have, I think it's Riddler. I'm pretty sure it is. Well, see you next time. Bye.